Whew. Somebody feel free. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Nope, don't need it connect to my phone. So whenever the game gets started, we'll talk about that. Sorry for being about a minute late. Just kind of a bunch of stuff going on just before the game, but we got back just in time. A minute late, but that's not too bad. Hey, Justin, how you doing? I feel a little flustered, but I think once I get this game pulled up, it'll all be better. If I can get my glasses clean, of course. They were fine, but I must have adjusted them, got my hand on them or something like that. Because now they got a splotch on them that I cannot get off. And obviously, we'll be talking about the Islanders Lightning game today. So hopefully that got it off. Got a big piece of hair stuck. Okay, and let me turn on the volume. Okay, I am pretty good now that we're set up. I realize, do I eat sunflower seeds? Yeah, I do. My favorite flavor is ranch. It's pretty good. I like that a lot. Chris says, let's go Isles. I support that as well. I can get behind that. Just trying to get this about as big as I can on the screen. What do you guys think will win today? Islanders won game 1. The Lightning won game 2. For a second in game 1, I really did think that the Lightning were going to come back and score enough to get the game to overtime, but couldn't get it to go. Like the Lightning winning this one. Making sure the live stream is working over here, and it is. It said one watching, that's why I wanted. I was a little confused if it was. Definitely, yeah, for sure. Want the Isles to win. I'd love to see them get an ability to win tonight and then possibly go up 3-1 in the series with that game 4 potential win. And I apologize if I look crazy red. I got really burnt yesterday. The wife and I went out on a canoe for like 5 hours. As you can see, I am pretty burnt. Although hopefully it turns into a good tan. I usually don't. Oh, actually, I never try to get tan. I actually put on a ton of sunscreen, but the sun was just so insane yesterday that managed to get burnt regardless. And I guarantee that we have probably got until, I'm going to say 8:17 this time before this game starts. Maybe a little bit later. I almost wanted to say 8:20, but I can't imagine them getting it out there before then. And it is true. You know, I was talking about this with somebody else. If you watch what the world calls football, we call soccer, they usually start pretty close to what time they say it's going to start. And here it's like, good grief. I think the latest I've seen it go is 25 minutes past what time they said it'd start, and that is ridiculous. That's almost half an hour. You're better off just turning on the game at 8:15, and you're probably still going to have to wait a few minutes. What do you guys think on that? And then I did take notes again for this game, and I also made a promise to you guys. I don't remember what it was that I talk about when we were at a break. So somebody, if they remember what that was from the live stream the other day, make sure to let me know. Have you ever been peer pressured? I feel like, unfortunately, everybody has. Kind of the sad reality of life. Oh, yes, the creepy experiences. That's right. That's right. I tell you what, at the first intermission, as long as somebody reminds me, I will make sure to bring that up. We're at a commercial break now, but I kind of want to wait till at least first intermission, and then I will tell you guys some creepy experiences. Got one from a few weeks ago that was, I don't know if you'd call it creepy, but it was a weird experience. Yeah, I saw that. Not going to say that he's not a deserving candidate because he's a really good coach, but what he has to work with compared to some other people. Who was it? Coach Q was in the running as well for Florida. I thought maybe he should have won it because they have got a lot of holes on that roster. But, it's not like he wasn't. It's tough because, and I know I say it's tough a lot, but it is true for him. He's got a really good group to work with. And I know he was a player for the Canes himself back in the day. But sometimes I just think that, maybe the success of a coach downplays what other people have done in a year. That's the big thing. People need to, especially voters, need to almost, if they have a piece of paper, whatever they have, just cut out the prior success unless it's instilled with the narrative of, okay, let's say somebody didn't make the playoffs last year, but then this year they did. I think that's what they should do, and that help with the awards. Is we're still at a commercial break here. And we are on an island tonight because my wife is not feeling very good from the canoeing trip yesterday. She was actually allergic to the sunscreen we use, sunblock, whatever. So she's not doing too well. She's not obviously not at the point where she'd have to go to the hospital, but she's kind of been in bed today. So if I run out of water, that is that. I didn't feel too well yesterday as well. Obviously pretty burnt. I didn't drink a ton of water like I should have. Woke up. I don't know if I've ever had the experience to say, oh, the temperature is or the I'm dehydrated, but I feel like yesterday was. Let me see what the temperature is. So the temperature is, can I change it? So it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. So pretty hot. I know a lot of people would say 80 is not hot, but 80 with humidity here is a pain. If I can get this out of the way. Let's see here. You said it's a team award. So the Jack Adams, as by definition, says that it is given to the coach that contributed most to his team's success. And I don't want to be rude here because Rod's a great coach, but I don't think that he should have been the guy that got it. But again, since they've had a lot of success with him being there, I'm not going to say that it's totally undeserved. Got a good crowd here tonight. And like I said, if you stay for that first intermission, I will talk about the game a little bit, but also creepy experiences. I know somebody brought that up last live stream, so I'll bring it up this live stream because we ran out of time. Looking at a face-off here. Yanni Gord goes after it. Dumped into the Islanders zone. Worked up the boards. Mayfield gets it. Tries to get it out. And goes out to center ice, but a Lightning player is there to get the puck. Dumps it back into New York's end. Islanders, no, the Islanders might have a chance here. Couldn't get it because of a turnover. They actually never really gained possession of it, but they're in a battle for the puck one-on-one. And also make sure to ask questions. Feel free to say whatever you want. down in here, as long as it's not like spammy or anything like that. Is this yesterday's game? No. Hopefully we get to see a score that's similar, 3-2. I think those are really good games. People who seem to like 4-3 the most as the Islanders get a shot off from the blue line. I think it was blocked by a Lightning player. Mayfield takes a shot again, and it goes up and out of the net. I think for this, outside of this series in the next few years, the Islanders will view the Lightning as a rival. I'm not so sure that the Lightning will, just because they won it. Do I know who Mr. Sir is? I know who Mr. Beast is. Wish I had I hope one day that my YouTube is as big as Mr. Beast, because then I'll be making a lot of money. That'd be really hard. I don't know what he's at now, but it was multiple millions when I last saw. I don't watch a ton of his videos, but the ones that I do. And it threw me off for a second. For a weird second, I was thinking we were back in Tampa Bay, so I was just so confused as to why the Islanders were wearing their home jerseys. From the Holes movie, is that the one with, I don't know how to say his name, but is it Shia LaBeouf, something like that? The guy that did the Transformers movie. Nothing so far as in the first minute and a half, 2 minutes, there's been one shot on goal by the Islanders, or excuse me, the Lightning. Kyle Palmieri gets a break, gets it to shoot. Zajac tries to keep it in. Ryan McDonough gets it on over to Point, and they blow the whistle. That's going to be an offside. Is Mr. Sir the guy that would shoot the lizards in that movie and was kind of like the jailer? It's been a long time since I've seen Holes. It was probably like 2017. Watched it with my friends one night because we watched it a lot as kids. Did he die or something? Shots now 1-1, 17:47 left to go in the first of Game 3, where the series is tied 1-1. Islanders looking to keep this home ice advantage. That way they don't have to necessarily win in Tampa Bay. And the Lightning looking to just win this, maybe both games, and then go into Tampa Bay, take care of business there. He's in prison for violation of his parole. Guy's played in other stuff too. So if that's true, that's crazy. I'll have to look that up after this when we're at a commercial break. The Lightning are in the Islanders. Costa Rican sports fan, what is up with you? Vasilevsky gets it over to Hedman. Hedman gets a deflection over into New York's, and this could be looking promising. However, New York's able to get it out of their own end. The Islanders trying to stop the Lightning from building up. Oh, in the movie, yeah. It's been a long time. I remember that now because at the end, they say his real name or something like that and then kind of go crazy with it. That's where a lot of good memes have come from. Islanders back down. Mayfield takes a shot from high. That's his third shot he's attempted in the game, and it's only 4 minutes and 35 seconds into this game. 3 minutes and 35 seconds, I should say. How you doing, Costa Rican sports fan? Also, how are you feeling with the news that Eichel could be traded within the next few days or weeks? I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I've heard that from a few sources. Probably going to have to be ready to do a video for that. I'm going to visit my family this Saturday and Sunday. Wouldn't you know it, that'd probably be a day that he would get traded. All good here. Glad to hear it. Lightning get it on up to Goudreau. It's unfortunate for the Eichel news, I'll tell you that. Clutterbuck gets a nice little just soft backhand on net. What's my sub goal for 2021? Well, they project me to be at 500 by November. I'm going to try to get kind of gutsy and say 750 by December 31st. Do I think it'll happen? Probably not. Depends, though. There's been a lot of subscribers. I think I need to get back to making a lot more videos, kind of like how I was a few weeks ago, but I've been doing the live stream, so it's kind of counted for a video. But get back to the videos. I've got some fun summer ideas for off-season. But yeah, I think that'd be a really good thing to hit 750 by December 31st. It'd be hard, but if we get a few big videos, that'll help. And if anybody's new here and wants to subscribe, I will put out at least 4 videos a week once school starts, but I'll probably put out like 5 a week over this summer. He's got the puck. Not exactly sure what he did there. He turned it over when I thought maybe it'd be an offsides, but pulls back. Said Reinhart publicly said he wanted out as well. That stinks because Reinhart's pretty young and signed that extension. Do I think Kevin Adams is that good? Tough to say. Only got 1 year to work with. He brought in some good additions. At the same time, it didn't work out, but the GM before him, I cannot remember his name for the life of me, really just put them in a lot of bad spots with a lot of the stuff he did. So we could possibly see Adams get fired for them being poor in the standings, but it could be, Botterill. It could be all Botterill's mistakes that he's just not able to get out under of. Because I kind of view it like this. On a scale of -5 to 5, you have GMs. Botterill, with some of the moves he said, you could say -4, maybe -5. I don't know. We'll give him a -4. And Adams, let's say that he is a 5. And this is just a weird way to do it. Let's say that he needs 5 years to get them out of 5. But, my thinking is, with Botterill being a -4 and him needing 5 years, maybe with this year, everybody's like, Adams stinks. But maybe he moved him to -3. I don't know that he did. But, in 2 years, they'd be at a -1. And, at that point, people would still say they stink, and then he gets fired. Again, it's tough to say because I'd have to look at the moves he made. But, again, I think sometimes people will get in a situation that's way worse than they think it is, and they'll make good moves, but the team won't have success, and then people blame them even though they've made good moves. They just had to clean up that mess as there's 13 minutes and 45 seconds left. Shots 4-2 in the Islanders' favor. They've outshot the Lightning 4-1 since the Islanders get that first shot off. Pagula's only higher friends. Tough to say. I know people complain about them a lot. One thing I will say, somebody brought this up on Instagram, is that they fired a lot of their scouts and just never rehired them. The Sabres did. And that's just not going to work. You need as many scouts as you can get. There's a lot of teams that have a ton of scouts, and I think I might be mistaken, but the Sabres have the fewest, if not one of the fewest, numbers of scouts for their team. Do you sing them break your window with a pogo stick? Don't know. Hedman misplays the puck. Had there been an Islander there where he tried to get the pass off to another Lightning player, that would have been a really good breakaway chance. As I'm getting distracted with Stamkos getting a good look here, they play it back to the blue line, get a shot off, but Varlamov has a good save. And that's one thing that I did want to bring up in this is that Sorokin has had 6 starts in net for the playoffs, while Varlamov has had 9. So they've split it up fairly even in this playoffs. Meanwhile, Vasilevsky has played every single second for the Lightning in the playoffs, unless it's been an empty net situation. Whoever their backup was didn't have a very good year this year anyway, so it makes sense on why they really wouldn't want to go away from Vasi, even if, let's say, he gives up 3 goals early in a game. As we're at a commercial break, score is 0-0. Feel free to ask questions as I got stuff in my eye. I'm not really sure what. Gonna figure out what I'm gonna eat for dinner after this too. I'm thinking chicken. Hope this is a good game. I get a weird feeling that this game could go into overtime, especially with how the Islanders play. I might put on a hat with the way my hair is falling around. I was trying to just rinse off before the game real quick because it's super hot in my apartment today. And as I did that, I realized it was like 8:02, even though I got in there at 8. And so I was just rushing around. That's why I got here about a minute late. There's other stuff I was doing too. Also, something I wanted to talk about is the fact that Kucherov leads the Bolts for playoff points, and I believe he has 22. And Point and Steven Stamkos are second on the team with 13. You should buy a portable AC. Not allowed to have them in my apartment. I get fined. That's an unfortunate thing. But I am a big water fan. Always been a big water drinker. When I got to college, it just kind of surprised me by how many people didn't drink water as like a main drink. I actually knew a guy that didn't drink water at all. He just drank pop all the time. He was really skinny, but he just thought it was the craziest thing that I drank water a lot. I thought it was the craziest thing that he drank pop. That's all he drank. When I was a kid, we basically had water, milk, and then occasionally orange juice or apple juice in the fridge. And it was really, really rare that we had pop. Pajot gets it to lift up into center ice. The Lightning try to get a shot off here, but Adam Pelech is able to get a stick down low. Travis Zajac dumps the puck into the Lightning end. They're battling underneath the boards. Zajac has the puck, but Point manages to get it. However, the Islanders keep it in the Lightning end. Ooh, there's a good chance. Oh, Zajac fell down. He couldn't handle the puck. Tries to get a shot off. Pelech with a shot. Zajac down low. Point tries to get up the ice. Gets blocked off on the end. We might see a chance here for Tampa Bay. Turned on over. Beauvilier's got the puck. Josh Bailey tries to get just a weird slide-through pass behind the defense to another fellow Islander player. I don't know if they allow fans to use water cooling. Probably not. They'd probably say it's a fire hazard. They say everything's a fire hazard. Battling underneath the net. Coleman's got the puck. Not sure if he took a shot there or just tried to get it into the Islander end. But it is in the Islander end as they're trying to clear it. Who's everybody rooting for in this game or in the playoffs? Let me know who you're rooting for in the playoffs to win this year. I'd say at this point, for me, the leading candidate would be the Islanders. Second would be the Habs. Third would be the Lightning. Fourth would definitely be Vegas. Sergachev applying pressure defensively in this replay that they're giving us because of its stoppage of play. I think I took a note down for him as well. Oh, yes, he had 2 points in 13 playoff games, or he has those this year. And last year he had, I believe, 10 and 26 games, so his scoring is down a little bit in these playoffs. Or I guess I should say a lot. Kaloran's got the puck. Little backward pass to go underneath the net. Stamkos tries to get a shot. He whiffs on it. Down low in the low slot. Hedman's got the puck. Cycling on over. You're rooting for the ice. Well, they're not going to do so hot. They just tear it down after every game. I'd like to see a Canadian team finally win. Yeah, that's my thinking there too. The Isles haven't really won it in so long. That's why I wanted them to. But the Habs I wouldn't have any problem with. I know some people say you don't have to cheer for a Canadian team if you're a fan of a Canadian team, but I kind of just disagree just because of how long it's been for a Canadian team. I just want the narrative to be done and over with. Shots 5-4 Islanders. 10 minutes and 52 seconds left to go. The Lightning have the puck in the Islanders' end. Sergachev tries to get a shot. Gets blocked by a a Islanders defender. Yeah, the 10-year anniversary of when we blew it, it's tough. I wasn't super big into sports at the time. I had gotten back out of it for whatever reason. I think it was being burnt out from playing sports year-round. But I remember watching that Canucks run and just kind of being frustrated. And it wasn't a big deal to me as I was like 11, but I was sad. But had it been 3 years later when I got back into sports, for sure it would have been crushing. Coleman gets a shot. It goes low. And the Lightning score. It was a weird bounce off of Varlamov's leg with a good leg save. However, the puck manages to get around. Trying to see who got the goal here. I think it's Gord. And it's 1-0 Islanders with just under 10 minutes left in the first. Meant to say 1-0 Lightning. I don't know why I keep mixing them up. You're not a weird Costa Rican sports fan. That was always my favorite subject. I still like history a lot now. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about it. The Lightning are 9-1 when scoring first in these playoffs. Zizekas has the puck, gets into the Lightning and has a chance, shoots it, and it goes way high. Simple history, yeah, I watched them. Yanni Gord got the goal. It's a third goal for him in the playoffs as we go towards a commercial break. Your school decided to remove it in high school? That's insane. That is ridiculous. It's a required course here for high schoolers. You have to have a history class. I'm pretty sure it's like every year up until your freshman year, which is 9th grade or grade 9, as a lot of people call it. And then after that, I don't remember how many you have to have. I think I had a year or two where I didn't have a history class, but I had it my freshman year and then my senior year. I don't think I had any in between there for a variety of reasons. I was going for I graduated with academic and technical honors, so I had to do some other stuff. I'm lucky. Yeah, I felt pretty lucky to have history classes. They were always really fun. We had really good history teachers. I think I had 3 different history classes in high school. I'm pretty sure I took 1 my freshman year, maybe 2, I don't know. And then I took 2 my senior year. So far, this really stinks for the... Oh, you guys don't get history? We have American history that you have to take. We have world history that you have to take. Yeah, we do geography as well. You would not believe how bad people are at geography. It's honestly ridiculous. We had a girl point to Russia when he said point to South Africa. And it's not that she was joking. She just really didn't know where it was. But yeah, we have American, world, and geography. It's been really even so far for this game. The only thing that's been a main difference is I would say the Lightning have had better looks in it, but the shots are about dead even. I know that in game one of this series that is the third round, the Islanders led in rush chances 9-0. And if Tampa Bay is held without a rush chance, you're probably going to win it. I don't remember how many goals they scored off the rush, but I think it was in the top 5 this year. I'd have to go back and look at it. I just guess I didn't realize that a lot of schools didn't teach history. I don't know if it's a lot, but that's crazy. Back to the game. There's 8 minutes and 58 seconds left. Score 1-0 Lightning. Shot 7-6 Islanders. The Lightning have a really good chance again down low, but it gets caught up by Varlamov's glove, I should say. He gets it down. And so far, we've seen just all 5-on-5 hockey tonight. I like to see that. I hate when teams go on the power play because if they score that way, it's one of those things that, they did get punished for something they did. But if you get a game where it's all 5-on-5, which doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, you get a really, really good look at how the two teams played when they had even strength. People say 4-on-4 is a good way to look at it too, but I disagree. It's the same way with 3-on-3. The ice opens up a little bit. We've got an icing on the Islanders here, going back to their end to take the face off. And if you are new, please make sure to subscribe. We talk about hockey all the time here. And feel free to ask any question you want. Don't be shy. We just kind of hang out here, talk about the game. As Pajot and Gord will take the face off. Lightning win it, but puck skates all the way down to the Lightning end. And we could see a really good Islanders chance here from a face-off won by the Lightning that just went behind the blue line. Yeah, we will get to those creepy experiences when this period ends. I promise. Who was it that brought up that question last time of the creepy experiences? I don't remember if it was Justin or Krish or somebody else. Barzell's got the puck, and we're looking at maybe something. He's trying to get fancy. Takes a shot, but it gets blocked by... I think it was... Might have been Kucherov, actually. Yeah, it was you. That's right. 7.5 minutes left to go here. There was a deflection out of play. We won't obviously get a penalty, but we will get a stoppage of play. See what the scoring chances are for each team. It is in favor of the Lightning, 6-5. It's really good for the Islanders if they can keep it about even. And I can't remember his name, but he's that famous guy that does shows in LA or whatever. But he is at the Islanders game, and I'm pretty sure he's from New York. I just can't remember his name for the life of me. He's got that weird hair. Point with another shot. What we talked about, too, before this series was whether or not they could contain Point. I'll take a look at what his overall stats are in this series. Have I ever cried publicly in college? I'm not really a big crier. Let me think. I'm going to say no. Maybe, though, but I'll think. Pretty sure it's a no, though. I did in high school, but it was a pretty unfortunate circumstance. Well, I did a lot in high school because of sports and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the worst time I cried was when one of the girls from our school passed away because of a car accident. It was rough. I remember that morning, actually, I thought that farm equipment was just backing up traffic because that was pretty common. Hey, oh, Eddie, good to see you. Jimmy Fallon, that's who it is. Yeah, he's got that spiky hair. I used to do it as a kid too, but it's just funny seeing somebody do it. Oh, good. I'm glad you like them all. Great, great. Glad to hear that. But yeah, actually, we found out first hour of school that there were first period of school that somebody got in an accident. Second, we realized it was somebody from our school, and at the start of third period, actually found out she passed away. It's terrible, and I definitely feel bad for her family. But that I think is probably the worst. Everybody was. It was just terrible, terrible thing, and it really is too bad because she was a really great person. I don't remember how the crash. Oh, it was. I think somebody from the other side. It was a weird. They said that it was. I don't know. They said that they saw a light from another side, so they swerved over into the other lane, which still doesn't make sense to me. But two other people from our school were in that as well. But they survived, luckily. But it looked pretty bad there for a second. I'm from Indiana, and people always say it's weird because people will say that I sound like I'm from Minnesota, from the Northeast, from the South. Well, they also say that here I talk weird too. People always think that I'm from somewhere else. So I don't know if it's just how I learned to talk or what. Yeah, I don't know why they'd swerve like that, but they managed to not go to jail somehow. 6 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the first. You go to Notre Dame games? That's awesome. My best friend is a huge Notre Dame fan. He goes to usually one basketball game and one football game a year. His parents make a pretty good amount of money because his dad's super smart. And every year he asks to get some great seats at Notre Dame for football and basketball games. So maybe you've seen him there. Probably not, obviously, because of how big it is, but that's awesome. Shots are now in the favor of the Lightning. If you remember right, in the beginning of the game, it was 4-1, and currently, I believe it's 8-5 for the Lightning. So that means that they have got 7 shots off compared to the Islanders' 1. Yeah, his whole family is huge Notre Dame fans. They just put on the game all the time. They pretty much it's like a religion to them. They're big Catholics too, or they were. I don't know if they still are. But yeah, they're big, big Notre Dame fans. He stuck out like a sore thumb though because he went down to college at some Tennessee school, but still wore his Notre Dame gear. Hey, as we hit a commercial break, last Saturday a friend of yours passed away. I'm sorry to hear that. It's really the worst. I was just talking to my wife the other day, and we've known quite a few people from our school that have passed away post graduation, and then just people we've known. It's been a really bad year for that because of cancer. Cancer's the worst. It really is the worst. My sister had it when she was 5. My mom obviously had it. On a brighter note, I guess, unfortunately, as we switch over to this, Isles Eddie said he subscribed since November 2020. Thank you for the support, Isles Eddie. Hopefully, I've said it before too. I hope that the Islanders can win a cup for you because it's been way too long. My dad was 2 the last time that they've won a Stanley Cup. So, obviously I'm a lot younger than my dad, but one of my favorite memories, because my dad was 19 when I was born, I was probably about 5 or 6. And we were working on a job site because he installs flooring or whatever. And somebody asked him if we were brothers. And for some reason, it just rubbed him the wrong way and he was mad about it. But at the same time, he was 25, I was 6. We would have been more likely to be brothers than, father and son. That's too bad. So Costa Rican sports fan, I'm sorry to hear that. I've known a lot of people that have passed away, and a lot of people have been close to me, but I haven't had a friend pass away, and I hope that I don't have to deal with it for a long time. I don't have a ton of friends just because I kind of just talk to the main ones, but I hope that that I don't have to do it. 38 years of waiting, 12 years for you. Let's get it done. Let's get the Isles in the cup. I will support them. Tell you what, if the Islanders win the cup, I'll buy an Islanders hat. Don't know that there'll be a team that I cheer for just because I only have 2, but I'll get an Islanders hat if they win the cup. I like their colors. The royal blue and the orange looks really good. Although it looks like they switch with their blues every once in a while. I kind of like this version. Barzell plays it. Palmieri jersey. If I had more money, I would. Unfortunately, now I am just saving money because of cost right now. But if I have money, I'll make bets with people about what gear I'll get, and I'll wear it. I promise. I'm going to get a jersey for every team once I have the money and once we get big enough. I feel like the next jersey I'm going to get is a Phil Kessel Kachina jersey. I'm a big Phil Kessel fan. Palmieri and Nelson are carrying men. I know I said Palmieri would have to be a big part of this team in order for them to get a good run. And if I remember right, he had a fairly decent start against the Bruins last series. When is the Cup final supposed to happen? I probably need to look at that. I think there's a certain date that it's not supposed to go past. That might be June 25th, but I'm probably actually, I got to be wrong about that. I have to be, now that I'm thinking of it. That's dumb that I said that. But I know there is a date that they have set in stone that's not going to happen. Can you Mamma Mia Pastaria? Yeah, I can do that in a second once we get to this commercial break. I'll even do the weird hand thing. Big shot from Polk. Big old slap shot. Gets blocked. They've got a 2-on-1, but Polk's able to get it back. Yeah, made it in August. Really started to grind on it in October. So thankful for the support. We've been growing fairly well. I think we could hit 1,000 subscribers by the time I graduate in May. We'll get back to the grind We'll get back to the grind really soon here. I'll get back from seeing my family Sunday, so I imagine by Monday we'll get back to grinding at least 5 videos a week. But I thank you for the support. It was so slow in the beginning to gain subscribers. It was always just amazing to get like 10 views per video, so I am thankful those days are over. 100% you'll be here. Thank you for that. I've met so many great subscribers along the way. I know we only have 270, but you guys are the best. Even on the days where I feel like maybe my videos aren't doing so hot, there's still a few subscribers that are always really supportive, and I always appreciate that. Might not be able to watch game 1. Might be somewhere really remote. Well, if you follow me on Instagram, well, I guess you'd be able to keep. Never mind. That was a dumb comment. I was about to say you'll be able to see what happens, but at the same time, you'd be able to look it up anywhere else because of the internet. Swirly's going. You have a small hockey channel, and I'm stuck at like 90 subs. I tell you what, we could do a collab. I don't mind it. We have to figure out what we talk about, but once the Stanley Cup Finals end, I could probably do a little collab. I'm talking with somebody else about doing a collab with them. I'd say friends with them. I'd say we're friends for, I don't know, probably like 6 months, and we said we'd probably do a video together. But yeah, I'd do it with you if you wanted to, of course. Signal only happens once in a blue moon. That's what I was thinking. Maybe if you looked it up on Instagram, that might be able to pull it up, but I don't know what it would need to do. SSN account on Twitter. I'll give you a little shout out. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that. So Zekas had a really, really good tip. One thing I really don't want this late in the year is for games to be blowouts. Once you get to, personally, I think the semifinals, that being the second round, I don't think you should see blowouts, but it's not uncommon for you to. When the Avs beat up on Vegas in game 1, I was really worried about how that series was going to go. Then Vegas won 4 in a row. 2:27 left. What? Isles, Eddie, if you could get them to retweet it, I would be so appreciative. Even the shout out, I'm appreciative of. I would appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. And if you can't get it on there, that's all right too. But if you can, I would appreciate that so much. When you say remote, you mean in the middle of an indigenous reserve remote? I don't know. I've never been to Costa Rica, but when you said remote, I imagine pretty remote. I know obviously it's not all remote, but my only experience of, as we get a good look for the Islanders, Oh, they get it off the deflection, couldn't get it to go. I'll finish that thought in a moment. As we've got 2 minutes left to go, Letty's got the puck. Letty with a shot. Blocked down low. Please, please, please tie it up before the start of this second period, or the end of the first, I should say. Kucherov gets it to McDonough, and McDonough does not get as much credit, I think, as he deserves. I'm a big, big fan of McDonough. I think Vasilevsky would be the guy I'd get a jersey of, as Barzell's trying to get a look. He just does not got the speed right now to get past these Lightning defenders. We know that Barzell has the speed. Maybe he's saving it up. Sometimes maybe you would want to. Yanni Gourde kills you. Sometimes he's a good man, or he's a good man. Yeah, I like Gourde. There's a lot of guys that are on this team that are so, so underrated. But thank you so much for that shout out, Isles Eddie. I appreciate that so much. We've got just under a minute here, 45 seconds left to go. And I will finish up my comment about Costa Rica after this. Haven't forgot. And then I'll tell you the scary stories during intermission. And we'll talk about the game, of course, too. Pierre Maguire cracks me up every time he talks. You could probably put a clip together on my personal account. I talked about the way Pierre Maguire talks dirty. And I made a fake thing that was him talking, and some of the stuff that he says, it's like you wouldn't want your parents to be in the room with the way he talks. We have and we get the end of the first here. It is tied, or it's not tied. The Lightning have a 1-0 lead as we go into the first intermission. So you have the GAM, which is where most people live. Then some cities in rural but accessible places. Then we have, not even going to try to pronounce it, where the tall mountains are, and the Spanish couldn't get past it because it's so remote. We also have places that are accessible but SUV type places. Yeah, so what I was going to say is I don't really have much experience with Costa Rica. I've only heard good things for pretty much every part, but my experience comes from, there was a show my dad used to love a lot, and I would watch. I kind of went to my dad's off and on growing up, but when I was there, we would watch Home Improvement all the time, and one of his sons goes to Costa Rica. It's like a fake show and talks about it there, and he always talked about it good, so I just go with that. That's my experience. Buzzer sounds, bang. That's right. So I guess we will go on with this, where we talk about scary stories. I'll fill you in actually on this game so far in the first period. Then we'll get on with that. Shots 10-9 in the Lightning's favor, and the scoring chances lead for the Islanders. However, the Lightning led for high danger chances 4-1, and it was all 20 minutes, or it was all 5-on-5 play the whole game. We didn't get any power plays, which I love to see, because sometimes if you've got a team that wins 2-0 on 4 power plays and they score 2 goals there, that's always frustrating. But now we will get into scary stories that I've experienced. We'll go with a lighter one for now, work our way if people want to keep hearing them. The first one that I can think of happened a few weeks back, and where I live, there are no bears, but my wife and I were hiking, and we were walking along the water because it starts to gain elevation where we go. And there, we looked down at some scat, and if you know what scat is, you know what I'm talking about. And there was berries and like all kinds of stuff in the scat, but it didn't look like anything that I've ever seen before. And I looked it up, and it looked exactly like bear scat. I looked at coyote scat. I looked at all kinds of animals indigenous to where we were, and there was nothing, but it looked just like bear scat. And I didn't think anything of it, and it definitely didn't look like deer scat. That was what I thought was the biggest thing that could go, because this scat was huge. We keep walking, and I'm not thinking anything of it. We are a little worried, but we get back into our normal groove. As we get into that normal groove, and what do you know? We see this huge, massive pile of grass that is just flat, and I'm talking this huge spot, and it looks like where a bear would lay. After that, we turned back around, but we were worried about it. And, who knows if it was or wasn't a bear, but in the moment it was scary because you're not going to do anything. I don't have a gun with me. I have one at my family's house, but since I live in an apartment that doesn't allow guns, I can't keep it here. So I keep it at my family's house, but wasn't able to take the gun with me. So, it would have just been a really tough situation to be in. But we actually get back, and later they find like a 5 foot snake. That's not the big deal, but they actually had to move a cougar out of there. I don't know if it would have been a cougar that did that. They've had bobcats that are local there, but they had to move a cougar out of there. Call me up with that pass by Blake Coleman was mega lucky. I'm so bad about focusing on it. So let's see on the trying to look at the scoring chances, all that stuff, who led. Got to itch my nose here. So for scoring chances in the first, Ryan Pollock, as I itch my nose like crazy, led the Islanders with 4. But against it was he gave up the most with 7. And then for the Lightning, as I itch my nose like crazy. There we go. So you didn't have to hear it. For the Lightning, they've got 2 players tied in first for Jan Ruda and Victor Hedman with 7 scoring chances. And they actually did pretty well. They both had 7, but only gave up 2. You think it's illegal for an apartment to say that you can't have firearms in the U.S.? It's a constitutional right. That is true, except for university apartments. I go to a college, and they're allowed to basically do whatever they want. And so, unfortunately, I can't have my rifle here with me. Once I move out of here and go into my first place, I'm going to bring my rifle with me, and then I'm also going to buy a handgun. And so I'll have 2 firearms in the house. I am a big Second Amendment supporter. I think everybody, as long as they are qualified to have a firearm, should have a firearm, at least one in the house to defend yourself. Rozovic and Atkinson are watching the game together. They are some cool dudes. Atkinson is such a nice guy. He has commented and liked my stuff before. We've even had a few conversations, very, very small, in his DMs. But yeah, you have some creepy stories, but you're blanking hard right now. That is always me with jokes. Chris said he agrees, thinks testing should be way stronger. Yeah, see, no, I'm pretty pro Second Amendment. I try not to talk about political stuff too much on here, but I've always been pro Second Amendment. But I do think, if you've got mental health problems, stuff like that, it should be harder to get guns. Also, I think this isn't really something the government could do per se, but people need to do a better job. You see with a lot of these shootings, people will just get something out of their parents' room. My rifle was in my mom's room up until I got a little bit older. Then she let me have it in there because I cleaned it. She doesn't know how to use, or she knows how to use it. She did know how to use it, but didn't know how to clean it. And then the ammunition was all in her room. And then you have, unfortunately, some people that'll shoot their parents, because they get in arguments, and that is wild. I would hope that if I ever had kids, they wouldn't get mad because I said they couldn't go to a concert and then they tried to shoot me. But you'll see some crazy stories there. You guys want to hear more scary stories or no? Because I don't want to have to bore you. Kind of. It's tough because, baseball, I think with the Cleveland Indians, they just don't keep talent. I think baseball has kind of faded a little bit. I was huge into baseball, but they just don't keep anybody. Mike Clevenger, Corey Kluber, Carlos Carrasco, Francisco Lindor, Yan Gomes. Yeah, sorry, for instance. That was tough, but I knew he was going to leave because he wasn't going to take the money we have. You have Carlos Santana. You have Trevor Bauer. Like, they just don't keep anybody, so it's hard to be a fan. Since they stopped, since everybody cleared out, I think it's been harder to watch baseball. Yeah, Carlos Carrasco, he was one of my fan favorites. I don't really get too emotional about a lot of stuff, but when, they did the We Stand for Carlos Carrasco at the All-Star game, that was a big emotional moment for me because I, always watched Carlos Carrasco. And, when he was going through cancer, it was almost like a member of the family was going through cancer. You're a Phillies fan, so what can you say? Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for the Phillies too. I'm not really too big into baseball anymore, just because of a lot of that stuff. But the Phillies, I always have said that I want to go to Philadelphia, watch a Phillies game, and eat a Philly cheesesteak. So you can have all three of those things combined. Ballpark food is the best. Jason Bay pissed you off so much when he left? I'm blanking on who I'm thinking of. Jason, who was it? Played for the Indians for a little bit, but he played other places. I like to go to a lot of AAA games. The Indianapolis Indians have pretty good food too. Not Kipnis. What was his name? Jay Bruce. That's who I was thinking of. Jay Bruce. I think he only played like half a season with us because we were supposed to beef up for the playoffs. And then I don't think he had a very good series against the Yankees. Yeah, Jay Bruce was a player I liked. I never really dogged on him because I always liked him, but I was hoping in the playoffs he'd have a better run. But do you guys want to hear more scary stories or no? Because we can hang that up, or we can keep going with it. I have an all-time great story. I have probably two that I use that are go-to whenever I'm around new people. 3 of his Mets jerseys. Mets got nice jerseys. DeGrom's a monster. Guys, I'm so hungry. I'm going to eat after this. I just never will eat during the stream because I don't want you guys to have to hear me go ham. I was glad for the Carolina Hurricanes head coach, Brendan Moore, that he got that extension, though. What do you guys think of that? What am I getting? As I used to call it asthma, if you didn't know, but yeah, ASMR. I don't know. I thought I could maybe make some chicken, but at the same time, I kind of want fast food. I've been pretty good about not getting it lately, but I almost want something really greasy right now. Big Jimmy John's fan. The problem is it's kind of expensive. You get, a gargantuan sandwich is what they're called, the gargantuans, and then you get I get the jalapeno chips. Always cracks me up when people call them jalapeno. Some people actually do try to pronounce it, say jalapeno or whatever it is. I just call them jalapeno chips. You get the jalapeno chips and you get 2 cookies and a large cherry Coke. That's what I get. But that right there is the go-to. But it's like 20 some bucks. Plus, if you do delivery, you got to tip. I've always been somebody that tips just because it's rude not to. I think I was a waiter, and it was the worst when you waited tables and didn't get tipped. Jalapeno. Or you get it in the stream or just shut off the camera? No, I'll just wait till the end. I'll eat afterwards. I don't want to have to bother you guys with it. I thought about eating some cereal before this, but the cereal we have I don't like. It was one that I used to like a lot as a kid, and then I tried it again, and I was like, that is not what I remember. So I'm just kind of forcing my way to eat through the bag. That's an unfortunate thing. I grew up. We didn't have we weren't so poor that we had to have, I don't know, but we didn't have a ton of money, and that was kind of a thing that you kept eating something even if necessarily didn't like it. If you bought something, you had to eat it all the way. So I think that's kind of something that got passed down to me. So I'm not a big fan of the cereal, but it's whatever. Get Cane's. Unfortunately, we do not have one down here. I've never actually got to try it. I don't know if they do have Cane's in Indiana. We have Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, KFC, Churches, if you've ever heard of that. And a Culver's. Culver's is one that I don't know if you consider it similar to Cane's. But we do not have Cane's. I've kind of heard mixed things. I heard it's either one of the best things you'll ever get or one of the worst, but I'd give it a try. I'm a pretty big Popeyes fan. I like Popeyes a lot. I'm a big fried chicken guy. KFC is my favorite. Yeah, they must have them in different places. It's kind of tough because in some places that are more urban, there's a lot more options in Indiana for food. Other places, my hometown only has one fast food place that we got when I was 17, and it was a Subway. And as you can imagine, I got sick of Subway pretty fast. Mishawaka, yeah, I had a teacher that actually transferred to Mishawaka. I think I've been there to wrestle once. What kind of car do you have? I have a Chevy. It's a Colorado. It's a little bit older, but it's not giving me any major problems, knock on wood. Have had to put some money in it to get it fixed, but it's going on getting up to 200,000 miles. But I try to take good care of it, and I think it'll get me through college and hopefully a few years of whatever job I get. I'm not a super knowledgeable car person, but just about everybody in my family has a Chevy. Anytime somebody's got a Ford in my family, it's not turned out well, so call me superstitious. Imagine having a driver's license. You know, that's funny you talk about that. My wife's friends from the UK, and he talked about how he's going to take his driving test tomorrow. And it just cracks me up because he's, I think, 18 or 19. But I know that and over there and out east where it's a lot more populated, you know, you usually don't because everything's in walking distance. Start driving at 18. You know, in Arkansas, I'm pretty sure you can start driving at 14. That's what's crazy. I remember when I was a kid, I used to drive on just about anything I could because my grandparents lived out in the country and had a little bit of a patch of land. Not anything crazy. I think it's like 2 acres or something like that. It's very like not wide, but very long, I guess you could say, the property they have. And we would, you know, my grandpa would let me ride the lawnmower. I'd ride four-wheelers and just really close with my grandparents. So I would drive his truck when I got my permit. You guys are boomers. That's right. You're 12. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I am. I do feel old when I see a lot of stuff. I feel kind of old. A lot of the kids that were my friends' siblings are getting ready to graduate or stuff like that. It makes me feel old because I remember being a few years older than them. What's your favorite fried chicken? I really love KFC. Now I know that that's a really basic chicken, but I will dip it just straight up in mashed potatoes and gravy. I don't use silverware. You got to get in there. I've never really been a guy that eats pizza with a fork or anything like that. You know, you got to get up in there, which is why I usually just wear a t-shirt and shorts or jeans or a hoodie. And yeah, I don't eat stuff with a fork a lot if it doesn't need to. Cheeseburgers, all that stuff, you just got to go in there and get it. KFC is the only big ones here. I love it. I love KFC. I love the biscuits. I love the chicken. I love the mashed potatoes. And I do love Popeyes. What is Discord? See, people talk about Discord, but I have no idea what Discord is. I'm pretty behind technologically. I know people talk about that, but I literally have no idea what that is. I thought Discord was like a chat. I think when I get bigger, I'm going to do a Patreon too. I just don't know how to do any of that stuff. And I don't know if anybody would do it now. I don't know if anybody would pay money to see anything advanced for what I do. Plus, I got to figure out what I do. Oh, wait, I think I could do that, actually. I think I would have the capability to do that. I just didn't know what it was. Thank you, though. Yeah, I think my wife could help me out with that. Costa Rican fried chicken. Don't know how to say that. And, you know, there's a lot of good Mexican places and stuff like that. I know that it differs per country what food's made. But back it was like a town over from where I was, there was a pretty big Mexican population, and there was a church there that would raise money every year by making homemade tamales, and holy cow, were they great. That's probably my favorite Hispanic food or Latin American food, whatever you call it. Homemade fried chicken is superior. Homemade food is. I'll give you that. My wife makes homemade everything, and her homemade fried chicken smacks. It's really spicy, though. I like spicy stuff, but it's the type of thing that would probably make you cough if you're not used to spicy food. But yeah, she makes that with homemade mashed potatoes and homemade mac and cheese, and holy cow. You have Moe's? Yeah, we have one in my city. I go there. I love their chips and salsa. I love the burritos. And then there's an authentic Mexican place that makes tacos here that are really good. Mickey D's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Papa John's. That's about it for fast food. Taco Bell is one of my favorite fast food places. They always disappoint me, but at the same time, they're always really good. I think they got rid of the thing that I normally get when I go there, the 5-layer burrito. That's like the thing I've been eating since I was 7 or 8 from there. My mom was not really supportive of eating fast food or anything like that because my dad had diabetes, but they were divorced. So whenever I went over there, my dad eats fast food and drinks pop a lot. So he'd take me there and we'd get a lot of stuff. Although his favorite place is probably Burger King, which kind of got passed down to me. I think that's one of my favorite places as well. Still an intermission here. Sorry that I've been rambling, guys. I'm a big food person. I love food a lot. Might try to convince my wife to let us go to Taco Bell after this. She's not a huge fan, so we'll have to see. Plus, it depends on how she feels because she hasn't been feeling the best today. I might end up staying here and making us dinner. Can't make much, but I'll make something. Looks like we'll get the start of the second here. Hopefully, I haven't bored you guys too much during this intermission. And is my mic working, by the way? It's not showing the... Like, usually it shows green dots to show that my mic's on. Can anybody hear me? I am Eastern Standard Time Zone. So, actually, it's really weird how the state works. Can you guys hear me? Just message me real quick in the comments if you can hear me, and then I'll start talking again. Let me message. Okay, you can't hear me? Okay. It wasn't showing the dots. For some reason, it wasn't showing those dots to show that you guys can pick up the noise. But yeah, for some weird reason, down in the southwestern part of the state and the northwestern part of the state, there's like 2 little bubbles that are Central Time Zone. And I always thought it was weird they just didn't end it off at the Illinois border, or they just made it Eastern Time Zone. But yeah, those 2 little patches, I have friends that live over in the Central Time Zone. I always thought it was weird how they did that, but yeah, I'm in the East. If I said I was in the Central Time Zone, you guys would really be able to have a good idea where I went to college, because it would either be an Evansville school or it'd be somewhere like Notre Dame or something like that. Start of the second period. Just about 50 seconds in here. Score 1-0 Tampa Bay. They lead in shots. Looks like 11-8. Maybe I think that's a 9 actually. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe. Hedman's got the puck. Gets a weird pass over where it looked lazy, but at the same time it was forward and going a little slow. The Islanders were able to handle it. But Jan Ruda is able to get it on net and gets deflected out of the end. I'm going to text my wife and see if she says yes to Taco Bell. She's boycotting Taco, but you know what? That's fine. If you can hear me, I will go to Taco Bell. We can get you whatever you want. Make the sub button turn gray. Heck yes. Heck yes, I can get behind that. Thought about doing game reviews going into the Stanley Cup Finals. Would you guys watch those? I just don't know what kind of views they'd get. That's the only thing that scares me. I'd hate to stay up and make those videos and then get really bad views. But we'll see. We'll see if we can do that. I'll probably do that. You wouldn't watch them. Yikes. I'll have to do a poll on my Instagram to see if people would. I figured it'd be a psych. If not, I was like, yikes, my subscribers won't even watch my game reviews. Hedman with a big old blast. Gets out. Letty trying to get the puck. And they're chasing the puck down. Cirelli manages to get it out of the Lightning end. It would have been an icing, so they just have to get it into the Islanders' end by a dump. Not doing a dump and chase here. Kind of surprised that whoever was dumped off didn't try to chase it in, but we will see. Pellick for Norris. We'll get behind it. Any Islanders player for Norris. the defensive system they play, a lot of them do seem to put up really good defensive numbers. The Lightning need to keep it here. Even if they get a goal, they're not a team that is well suited to play, that back-to-back where you are like a 4-3 team that wins it 4-3. They're better suited to keep that game low scoring. And I'd say they still have a really good chance to win it, even if it is 1-0 at the end of the second. Because they are, built for these type of games. Or Malamov for Norris, I could get behind that. At least you're shooting the puck, yeah. Sometimes it gets frustrating because it's like, I know you want to set up the play, but just fire it, please. Andy Green with the shot couldn't get it in the back of the net. A big problem, too, is Vasilevsky is a pretty big goalie, so it is hard to get past him. And then he's pretty mobile. I think he's one of the more mobile goalies I've seen, especially for his size. He's able to go side to side. He always pass. Yeah, I've noticed that. People talk about that a lot, how the Islanders always want to set up a good shot, but they just pass too much. Green went to high school with George Washington. George Washington Jr. George Washington had some wild dentures. I believe that it was derived of multiple different animals. Could be wrong about that. That might be a myth, but I thought somewhere it said that it was. We'll have to look into that at the intermission. Unless he scores and I stop roasting him. Yeah, they were really weird looking. Had some metal wiring. They weren't even all even. I imagine they would have had difficulty with that back then too. I was watching a weird thing about Sergachev. Yeah, I've been saying his name wrong for years. I always thought it was Sergachev, but it's Sergachev. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I think he had a little bit of a down year this year offensively. I'd expect that to bounce upwards. Hoping we go back to 82 games this upcoming year. I think we should. I'll tell you what, I'm going to message my wife here in a minute and say, listen, I am getting Taco Bell, and if they have the 5-layer burrito, I will be getting it. Multiple 5-layer burritos. I can't say too much on that because I haven't got to watch every Islanders game, so I don't want to say something and then it not be true. You'll back us up, or we'll back you up. Thank you. That 5-layer burrito is mine if they're still selling them. They've been getting rid of a lot of stuff. I know because of the shortages, because of Corona. Get Taco Bell for Hockey Brigade. Amen to that. I always feel terrible after eating Taco Bell, like my stomach hurts, but it's worth it for the food. His actual name? I've never released my actual name. I think once I get a little bit bigger, I'll release it. I think one thing that just makes me a little nervous is my wife's profile or her Instagram's not private. And so, I just never would want anybody to be rude and then realize that they could say anything. 1,000 subs for a face reveal? Or for a name reveal? Is that what you're saying? Because I think I would. The one thing that just makes me nervous is with my wife's account being public, I just wouldn't want somebody to be mean to her because that would really just go up the wall. Oh, for her face reveal? Because if you want a face reveal for her, there's actually one on my Instagram, Hockey Brigade. I posted a photo of us, so you can't see her. People talk about how she's a lot darker than me. She is some Native American thing, tribe, and then Italian, so she's a lot darker than I am. I hope somebody wouldn't, but you would not believe some of the nasty comments I get. It doesn't bother me if somebody says something mean about me. People have always had something to say because I just feel like I'm a little bit more upfront with people, but I wouldn't let that slide, them calling her names. I'm going to check to see if she messaged me anything else. Tell me what you want to eat. I'll even make some form of dinner for you here, but I'm getting Taco Bell. You're a lot whiter than the average Costa Rican. So, see, I got really unfortunate in the sense of a lot of ways that my dad is really pasty and my mom is really pasty, was really pasty, whatever. But, you know, that is not good when you have to spend time out in the sun because no matter how much sunscreen I put on, sunblock, whatever you want to call it, I always burn. As we've got 14 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the second, the net came off, and it's 1-0 still for the Lightning. You have so much severe swimmer's ear, so much I don't even get in pools now. Yeah, my cousin had to have 3 major surgeries for an ear infection because he gets them so bad. Luckily, I've never really had any major health issues besides stuff from accidents. My brother, I'm pretty sure, was born with a heart condition, and I'm pretty sure they had to do surgery on him when he was born, but I don't remember if that's right. So I'll just say maybe it did happen. Sorelli's got the puck. Killorn going for the puck. Sorelli behind the net. Goes for a little wraparound, but Varlamov's leg was there. Oh, baby. Nah, couldn't get it to go for Brock Nelson. Turns over the puck. Irritating because pain for the 2 weeks. Yeah, we learned about in health class, I think it was 7th grade, that a lot of people have earlobes that are shaped kind of like this, but the people that tend to have a lot of ear conditions, it's shaped more downward, so water just goes right into your earlobe. We also learned you're not supposed to clean your ears with a Q-tip, but I still do that now, so. 13 minutes, 11 seconds. Shots look like it's 17-10. That can't be right. No, I think it is. Definitely been more of a in the world. I'm trying to figure this out. The math just doesn't add up with how they've got the shots set up. Yeah, we definitely don't have hot springs. We used to swim a lot in creeks when I was a kid, but my friend ended up cutting his foot up pretty bad, had to have surgery on it, so we stopped swimming in creeks. Swim in ponds a lot too. The water's gross, but it's better than being hot. You do have pools here, obviously, but not everybody had a pool. Or if they did, it was one of those like rubber pools that you have to pump water into. Although I think when I was 18, my friend, his family got like a pool that was like built up, set up. Who is that? I don't have his number listed here on who that is. Battling just underneath the net. I'm just trying to. These numbers aren't adding up for how the shots are going. And I do know basic arithmetic. I talk about how I'm bad at math. Okay, yeah, I'm done. So it's been more favorable for the Lightning so far, 7 shots to 3 in this second period. I tell you what, at intermission, if you guys just give me 2 minutes, I'm gonna get peanut butter and chocolate chips, and I'm gonna eat that real quick. And I'm sure it's gonna be disgusting to watch me eat that, but oh, it isn't bad when you get in the hot springs and rivers. Maybe it's chemicals. I know the last thing I need is Taco Bell and peanut butter since I've been gaining weight, but we'll just say it's one cheat day. Just over halfway left in this period. Score still 1-0. Series tied 1-1. This will give a team a series lead. And as Justin said last live stream, peanut butter is my comfort food. Very true there. Green takes a shot. Oh, he could have gone 5-hole. Oh, another good chance. Oh, another good chance. 3 shots in a row. Green has the puck again. Green has the puck. Can he keep it in? Can he keep it in? Dobson tries to get a pass over, but it's deflected. If we go to a commercial break, I'm actually going to get that peanut butter and chocolate chips because I am famished. Are we going to commercial break? Please tell me we are. I'm getting that peanut butter and chocolate chips. Maybe a few pieces of bread, too. We're at a commercial break. I'll be right back. All right, boys, I'm back. And I guess potentially girls, I don't know. Oop. And this is a really simple thing that I just do, where just pour some chocolate chips in there. Dark chocolate chips. Dark chocolate's the best chocolate. And then just scoop it with some peanut butter. I'll try not to be too loud. What are your guys' thoughts on the game so far? And we're still on that commercial break. Okay, we're back. It's kind of nice. My wife's not a big fan of peanut butter, so I really don't have to worry about her eating some of it. That was exactly what I needed. Probably going to have more. With that 3-shot blast the Islanders just had, they took the shots from 7-3 to 7-6. Because all 3 of those shots were on net, so they had a pretty good chance. The sound of you, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that water. I imagine that's probably one of the most annoying noises to hear. Whenever I work a broadcast, I always mute myself when I get a drink. That way they don't have to hear me in the control room. You want some ASMR? We got it right here. The peanut butter and chocolate with the... Oh, Pajot with a good chance. He's looking for the puck. Vasilevsky can't find it. The Islanders are able to maintain possession. Zajac has the puck. Zajac has it. Please. He gets a feed over to Pajot, but he got it. Pajot couldn't settle it down. That might have been a goal. I don't know if it would have been. Vasilevsky was pretty closed off down low. He would have had to elevate it in a short amount of time. What's funny is when people always hear me drink water, I remember one time this girl that I went to college with my freshman year said that I sounded like a water buffalo, and that cracked me up. Eight minutes and 30 seconds left to go. I'm going for more peanut butter right now. I apologize. It just sounds really good. And we use jars that we already use, like ragu and stuff like that, in to store stuff, and it actually isn't too bad. It makes storage a lot easier. Get some more chocolate chip on there. offside by the Islanders. Making sure my computer is charging. It looked like the screen got darker for a second. Commercial break. What I will say about this period is this. Okay. I think the first part was definitely all Lightning, but I'd say the Islanders, the second half so far of this, have been the much better team. And I will stop after this. That's it. This one's the last one for the live stream. Again, I do apologize for this, but it was a wild day. Hear me out, okay? We go canoeing for 5 hours. We're out there a long time. In the sun, get burnt, okay? And there's like two sides of the lake. My wife wants to go to the first side. And I love my wife, but she's not exactly what I'd say a strong person is. She's pretty weak. So I'm doing most of the paddling, no big deal there. We go to the first side where there's like the bigger boats can't go just because there's not enough room. And then we go to the other side. But we realize it's been kind of like 2-ish hours that we rode on the other side. And we stopped a few times. But we had to get back, within an hour. Otherwise, we were like going to miss the person that was there to like have us drop off the canoe. So in like 40 minutes, I'm just like rowing hard because she's not feeling the best. Probably because of the sunscreen stuff. But I'm like rowing with everything I have. So I'm exhausted. Then we eat dinner real quick. And then fall asleep really early. Like the sun's still out. And I wake up and she wakes up and we both feel terrible. I don't know if it's from the sunburn or from like having to canoe for so long, but it was still a great time. But do that. And we just both kept waking up feeling like absolute crap. And then we woke up and it was like 12 that we both finally woke up. And after that, it's just kind of been busy with some other stuff today. So I really haven't got a big chance to eat a lot. So after this, I'm going to go ham. So the peanut butter's done for the rest of the live stream, though. I apologize for that. It just sounded so good. And you got a spoon. You got to see me take more than a spoonful of peanut butter and like 12 chocolate chips on one spoon and see me just absolutely devour as the game's back on with 7 minutes left to go in the second. We could see the Islanders score here with the way they've been playing the past few minutes. At the next commercial break, I'll talk about what the high danger chances were, because in the first period, it was 4-1 Tampa. And right now, it's actually 4-1. It was 4-2 for Tampa in the first. It's actually 4-2 for the Islanders in the second. And I imagine a lot of that's come the past few minutes. And if you are new, please make sure to subscribe. Green has the puck. Gets it to Eberle. Tried to get it to Barzell. I don't know if it snuck past behind him or what, but we have the chance. You got a chance. Oh, the Islanders had 2 chances there, but couldn't get it in the net. Vasilevsky is a thief. Barzell trying to get to the edge. He's not been able to do so far. Come on, give him the backhand. Pollock takes the shot. Pollock with another shot. Down. The Islanders have got 2 players down right up on the net. They don't stop play because the puck never went underneath Vasilevsky. Had the blue line of the Islanders not been prepared, we could have been seeing a Lightning goal because they responded so quickly. Palmieri takes a shot blocked by a Lightning defender, hits their leg. Green with another shot. You're going to head out? That's all right. Glad having you here. Glad having you here. It was good to have you here while you were here, but enjoy the rest of your night. You have a good night too. It always stinks to see people go. But one thing I will say is the fact that even people are here and enjoy it, that's one thing that makes me glad. Barzell had 2 shots, but Vasilevsky falls, where you go in your stomach and gets his glove out as we're at a commercial break. Now they lead high danger chances 5-1. Scoring chances are also in their favor 10-7. And the shots are 18 to 16. The Lightning still lead that, but it's been a pretty good period, especially on the back half of this. And I want to look at who's been having a good period. I think the Islanders had somebody with 4 scoring chances in the first period. I think it was Adam Pelech. Well, he's had at least 5 in this period. Having a good game in terms of really everything. Scoring chances, he's leading 9-3 and has 3 high danger chances to 1. And he has outshot the Lightning when he's been on the ice 8-5. And they've been able to get pretty good possession with him out there. Let's see what Barzell is looking like. They've been outshot 2 to... No, that can't be right. Where is Barzell? They've been outshot 4-5 with him on the ice. Had a lot of good scoring chances. So that's no big deal. That's the thing with players. If you get outshot, think of maybe somebody like... I cannot think of his name. Not Quinn Hughes. The other one. Luke Hughes, right? Jack Hughes. That's it. So when you have somebody like Jack Hughes that gets outshot a lot most nights, that stinks. But when you look at the scoring chances, it's a lot more favorable than you'd think. So it's not the end of the world if you get outshot, as long as you can get the opportunities to score. Palmieri with a shot. New York's on the power play. This is the first power play we've seen all game. Tampa Bay is 6 for 7 on the PK this series. This is a big area that I said the Isles are going to have to capitalize on before this series started. Tampa Bay's power play or penalty kill has not been looking good because they've just been providing so many chances that it's been a miracle that Vasilevsky's been able to do what he's done when they're on a penalty kill. The Islanders have got to get a goal here. Nelson takes a shot, but Cirelli just manages to fall just in time to get it blocked. We could see the Lightning get a chance here shorthanded. It's not able to go. Islanders building back up in center ice. Oof. Barzell has the puck, dumps it back to... Don't have them marked. Did a little dump and chase here. Didn't get it to work. 38 seconds left on the power play. Barzell has it. Trying to just get a little pass in here. Lightning get it out. There's 20 seconds left to go on the power play for the Isles. Is their stadium going to be done soon? Does anybody know that? Is it going to be ready by next year, or is it in a few years? Tampa Bay's managed to kill off the penalty kill. The power play. Hey, Cookie, how you doing, man? You missed me just going ham on some peanut butter earlier. Peanut butter and chocolate chip. Never fails. Justin had to witness, or I guess experience the audience. I'm pretty good. I'm thinking about Taco Bell after this game, and there's a shot. If they could just elevate their shots a little bit, they score. Is it going to count, though? Is it going to count? Right after they couldn't score on the power play, I said, I think that the Islanders are going to score before the period ends. Now, how did this happen? They get a dump, hits the back of the net, gets a weird bounce. Right now, it's tied 1-1. The Islanders just scored literally about 10 seconds ago. I don't know what was going on, but Cizikas, or whoever it is, for the 80 something for the Lightning, basically got the puck in a bad spot to where the Islanders were able to score 5-hole. And with the way that this period started, I wasn't so sure that it wasn't going to be the Lightning that got a bigger lead. However, the Islanders have been killing it probably the past, I don't know, I'd say like 10 minutes, and got the score to be 1-1. Build off this momentum. The crowd seems to be a little bit more lively right now. I like the memes that are going right around about the Lightning, talking about how it's like a library. That cracks me up. Hopefully the Lightning can prove the other people wrong and make a big, loud crowd. Adam Pellick's going to the box, so of course, right after they get the goal, now they're going to have to go on the penalty kill. I think it's going to be an interference call. They're showing the replay now. That is pretty weak. So he hits him, obviously, when he doesn't have the puck, but that is such a light hit. They miss cross-checks all the time in the playoffs, but they managed to get this to go. I don't understand that. It's pretty weak, and it's weird that they're going to call this out of all the things that they could call in the playoffs. That's something that I want to keep track of, too. I don't know if there's a way to go see that. I think there might be. I want to look at the average amount of penalties per game in the playoffs compared to the regular season, because it's got to be lower. If it's a major penalty, if it's a bigger penalty, they usually just let them play. It's got to be obvious. Kucherov with the puck. Gets it to Hedman. And Hedman at the point is just iconic, really. Hedman takes a shot. Traffic at the front of the net. Things could be getting a little feisty here. Not exactly sure what happened there. It looked like the puck got loose, but that could have been after the whistle. They blew the whistle because they thought Varlamov actually got it down, but it wasn't even anywhere close to his glove. There's just a bunch of bodies around there. Had they let it play, I don't know, with as many Islanders defenders that were down, maybe they could have scored. And for Adam Pellick, if they could get him back out there in a minute and 19 seconds, it could be a big deal for them. What you really don't want is him to get out there and then 10 seconds later them give up the goal. I hate when that happens when it's your team. You killed off the penalty. Why give up the goal when you get back to even strength? Right after that is. Kucherov takes a big old hack from the face-off circle. And it couldn't go in. Stoppage of play. Oh, it gets deflected by somebody's stick, an Islander's stick. It was Letty's, I think, might have been. 56 seconds left to go on the power play for Tampa Bay. The odd man advantage. For them getting a goal back here with just about a minute to go to get that lead going into the second would be huge. So it's funny that we didn't have any penalties this whole game, but within the span of about a minute, you had a penalty in and then another penalty get called. 30 seconds left to go on the PK for the Isles. 45 seconds left in the game, or the period, that is. Kucherov's got it. You can tell he's looking to go down low, but he might have to settle for Hedman. Hedman is going to get it back towards Stamkos. Stamkos, you can tell, wants a cross-crease pass. Not sure if it's going to happen. Kucherov gets a pass from down low, passes it back down low. Kucherov gets it back up. Kucherov to Hedman. Hedman takes a shot from the mid-slot. Braden Point gets a goal or scores. I say gets a goal, but he did get a goal. He falls down, but he manages to get the goal. That's the thing. You cannot have him scoring down low. Wow. I think the time actually might have run out of this, and it just ended, but Point was able to fall down. Pelech wasn't able to get there in time. That hurts. And I'm not even an Islanders fan. But that hurt me. We might be looking at goaltender interference, though, with the way Cirelli was in front of the net. We could be looking at that. We'll see. They're not showing whether or not they are looking at that. We'll know whether or not because they'll be dropping the puck, and I think that we're going to see them drop the puck. I'm kind of surprised the Islanders wouldn't challenge it. He might have actually got pushed into Varlamov. So I think that's why it is. Green, looked like Andy Green shoved him in there. As the score is 2-1 with 15 seconds left to go. Now 14.4 play stops. Cizikas lays a pretty good hit on, like a backwards hit on Point, but Point's just able to fall down and get just enough to get it to go. Had Green not pushed Cirelli into Varlamov, they probably wouldn't have given up their goal there. And this headphone has got a low battery, so we're going to get this one in here. And there's a fight to end the period. I don't think it'll be anything special. But we have 5 Lightning players and 5 Islander players right there. Lightning look like they're going to disperse except for one player. That is Barclay Goodrow. Wow, that is tough for the Islanders. They're down at the end of the first 1-0, and now they're down again, another goal, 2-1, after they just got the goal back. The penalty had already ended, but Pelech had just stepped out of the box for maybe a second or two, skating towards his end to try to get in on it and ideally get the puck over into Tampa Bay's end, try to get something going there. But they give up the goal in part because Green was pushing Cirelli in front of Varlamov, who couldn't get over in time because Cirelli fell on him. And Cizikas lays a pretty good hit on Point. But as Point falls, he's able to get just enough on there to get the goal to go. So that's a really weird way to see a goal scored. Not the weirdest we've seen, but still kind of frustrating there. For me, I don't know. I'm not, I've never been a blue line guy. I know I focus more on goalies, but I just don't understand if you're a blue line guy, why you would push Cirelli into your own goalie, because they're not going to call goal through interference when you're the one pushing him into your goalie. And that's exactly what happened here. That's tough. Still, though, the Islanders, if they play how they did in that second half of the second period, tie it up, maybe win it, I don't know. I think they could still send it into overtime. Whatever happens, don't let that momentum slip. Let's take a look at the second period and see how it went. Wonder how many shots the Lightning got off in that power play. They only got off one, but they scored that goal off of it. And then 5-on-5, the shots were 12-8 in the Islanders' favor. In the second, they led in scoring chances, high danger chances. That overall was a really good period by the Islanders. The penalty really stinks, and it was a pretty bad penalty. So maybe the hockey gods will reward the Islanders for that really, really light interference call. I think if I had been an official, I probably wouldn't have called it. But, I'm not going to say anything too much about it because what I've said before is you have to kill it off regardless of if it was weak or not. They killed it off, but scored the goal, or the goal gets scored on them right after that. Feel free to ask questions now that we're into the intermission. Ask whatever. We can talk about whatever. If you want to hear more scary stories, we can do that. And while you read questions, I'll just talk about some other things I wrote for this. One of them being that the Islanders have 5 players separated by 2 points for scoring in the playoffs. JPG has the lead with 15, I believe. Josh Bailey has 12. And Nelson, Barzell, and Beauvillier are all tied with 11. And the Islanders led or averaged more blocks per game in the regular season at 14.2, while the average for the Lightning was 11.5. And I don't think that blocks mean everything, but if you can block it down low, might as well. Scary stories? Okay. So here's a scary story. This is probably my best scary story yet that's ever happened to me. So my family, when I was younger, my aunt and my uncle did fairly well. She was a teacher and he was pretty high up at a factory. He was kind of like not at the top where you're like office, but at the top where you're on the floor. So they made pretty decent money. So every year I'd go with them to Tennessee, to the cabins. We'd go to Gatlinburg, all that good stuff. Sometimes Christmas time too. Like I said, they made pretty good money. And we went there with him, and he had 3 kids before her. So those kids and then me. With all this, I think it was about 18 at the time. The middle one was 15, and then the youngest would have been about 12, 13. So we go there, no big deal. And what was it? On the first night that we go there, I'm about 8 or something like that. I take a shower, and I get out, and I kid you not, see the light switch go on and off, probably about 8 or 9 times. I freak out, being an 8-year-old, slam the bathroom door open, run out in my towel, and my uncle is just like, what in the world? I tell them, Jill well, not Jill, my aunt, she was, I think, kind of skeptical, but maybe thought she could believe me. And then my uncle, good grief, my nose itches, wasn't buying it at all. No big deal. So, no big deal. His son, that was 18, was like, you know what? I'll sleep in the living room with him. So we both slept on couches to make him feel better. Because I wanted to sleep in my aunt and uncle's room, but my uncle was like, no. So his son sleeps on one couch, I sleep on the other in the living room. Nothing really weird happens. Then the next day, it's morning time. We're getting ready for breakfast. My aunt's making breakfast for everybody. And the 2 girls are upstairs. The 12-year-old screams. And my uncle just, jumps up, runs up the stairs of the cabin. And they're both freaking out. And he's like, what's going on? What's going on? They say that they saw a baby crawling, look over at them, smile, and then run up the wall and then disappear. So then they're like, okay, we're going to sleep in the living room. And there was like a big couch and then like a lazy boy and then like a love seat. So the oldest son that was 18 was like, since I'm the oldest, I'll sleep on the floor. So then I slept on like the littler couch. Might have slept on the lazy boy, who cares? But anyway, that happened. So my aunt at that point is like, I want to switch cabins. My uncle's like, no, they're just kids. I don't know what's going on with them. So then we go to, I think it was Gatlinburg, and we eat dinner, blah, blah, blah. We go to a nice restaurant, whatever. We get to decide, we want to go see the town, blah, 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 go there. So then we go rent movies, because that was a thing you did back then. Not really that common now, but we rent some DVDs. We take it back to the cabin. We rent a funny movie and we rent a scary movie. So we get back there and we are watching the scary movie. This is the 3rd night, I think. I don't remember how many days we were there that night. I think we might have just been 3. But usually we stayed for a little bit longer, but I think it was 3. So we get there, no big deal. And we start watching the funny movie, of course, no big deal. We watched the scary movie. I couldn't even remember what time it was now. But one thing that I've left out so far is that there was a clock broken at this cabin we were at, and it was at like some specific time. We're watching this movie, and then my cousin that's about 12 screams at a part, and my uncle was like, "What's wrong with you?" She looks over at all of us and she said, "Go back." So she goes back on it, pauses it, and she said, "That movie that's got that clock that was at a scene where it was paused there for about 10 seconds is the same time as this cabin." So we were already getting weird vibes then. My aunt is like, "No, no, we're leaving here." My uncle's like, "No, it's the middle of the night." So she sleeps out in the living room with us. I don't know what the sleeping arrangement was. I was pretty tiny, so I probably just slept with her on the couch or something like that. But so we're out there sleeping. And that night, my uncle, who's not really a big believer in all that stuff, is in the bedroom alone. And he thought that he saw somebody outside of the like the porch of their room, but he went out there and there was nobody. Later on, he hears footsteps in the bedroom that they're in, and then starts walking, and then he feels somebody lay in bed with him, and he doesn't know what's going on, and he's terrified. And he rolls over. There's nobody there, but the bed is pressed down. He literally gets up slowly, walks out, shuts the door, and says, "We're leaving first thing in the morning." We might have left early because of this. We end up leaving or whatever. I guess later on they end up telling us that people died in that cabin way back when, and they get weird reports all the time from like the people that like go visit the cabin. So that was weird. So we never went back to that specific cabin anymore. But that was probably one of the weirder experiences. Yeah, it was scary. Had I been older, I probably would have been like, "No, we're dipping." But yeah, it was just really weird. I don't know if I felt unwelcome, but let me tell you, the fact that the light switch, I've never seen anything like that since then. The light switch, hand on a Bible, literally went up and down probably about 8 times. I panicked. I screamed like a little girl and like let out everything in my lungs and just threw open that door. My uncle, I think, was annoyed that first day because the door hit the stud really loud, or like the door blocker. Um, but I think as each day, more and more people in the thing got convinced. So we started with just me, and then it ended up with all 6 people were pretty scared about that. And yeah, it's probably my creepiest one. I do have another one we could go to if you guys want to hear that one. So I'll just leave a second for you guys to put that in the comments if you want to hear that one too. Kind of a multiple ones, but yeah, we can talk about that if you'd like as well. Yeah, the lights did go on and off as the light switch went on and off. And I was the only one in there. I was looking at the light switch directly. Because at first I thought it was my cousin playing a prank, but the door was shut. I had locked it actually because I didn't want anybody to go in there. Because I figured my cousin would try to play a prank. But yeah, that was terrifying. I'm not going to lie. But if you guys want to hear another one, I can say it. But if not, we can just talk about the game, stuff like that. It's up to you. So just, I'll give you probably about 20 seconds. Just leave it in there if you do or don't. But after that, we'll just talk about the game if you'd like, or whatever you guys want to talk about. And if you are new, please make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, I'll do another one. So when I was a kid, we grew up, or I grew up partially in a house that was the same street as my last name. Actually, it was kind of funny. We talked about that. But it was weird stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you. There was weird stuff that went on in that house. And like, I think one of the weirder things that ever happened was when I was a kid, um, my mom, it was just me and my mom. She's a single parent. So we had this really tiny house, super, super tiny. I don't even know if it'd be over 1,500 square feet, maybe less. Anyway, she's got a room, then there's the living room, kitchen, and like a mini hallway in my bedroom. So when I was a kid, I got this weird wooden bed where you'd like climb up these plastic poles. Um, and I'm in bed by myself, whatever. When I was a kid, I still put on the TV. But I kid you not, man. This still gives me shivers to this day. I look out the side of my bedroom window, and like I like freaked out because I saw like a man standing there watching me. So I like jumped, like literally jumped over the bed, opened the door at the same time, ran into my mom's room, and I said, "There's a man watching me." She went out there, there's nobody. Maybe a pervert, I don't know. Hopefully not. But anyway, the weird stuff keeps going on in the house. I'm a little kid. I'm probably about 5. And my mom used to have these angel statues and fat statues of family like all over the house that were up high, stuff like that. They used to be moved, but I was too short to move them even with a chair. And that was a weird thing. They'd be knocked over, stuff like that. And another time we had a dog and we were like in the living room watching TV, and the dog ran towards the bath or the living or the I can't even talk the laundry room and like growled. Kid you not, the dryer comes out, smacks her in the face really hard. She whimpers and like comes back to us. That was weird. And I'm trying to think. Another thing that happened was, yeah, I've got two more things for this house by itself. Another thing that was weird that happened was back in the day, if you're old enough to remember, which I know I'm not very old, but still, you used to have home phones and they would tell you like what numbers called you, blah, blah, blah. So my mom picks up the phone. It's a call from inside the house. Like it says that it's the home phone. Nobody's there, but it's on the thing, so it just doesn't call by itself. She picks it up, and I'm pretty sure she said she heard breathing or something like that on the other end, but there was only one home phone, so that makes it even weirder. And then the final thing I'll say about this house is when I was a little kid, I played Little League Baseball. So I'm at the ballpark playing baseball, blah, blah, blah. One of the uh, people that was like her son was on the team had a son and a daughter. She comes up to my mom, and she had lived there before. And she says, hey, I was meaning to ask you, as you know, blah, 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 seen anything weird, that being me. She's like, no, why? And she's like, well, when these two were younger, her two kids, she's like, they used to say that they saw this figure called Pretzel Boy. And she's like, I just didn't know if anybody told you when you bought that house in the 70s, a mom and her kid crashed into the house and died. So that happened. And after that, I think my mom was just kind of done with it. So we moved in to the house that she actually still lives in, or like the house that she bought after that. That's the house that I grew up in. But yeah, that was a really, really weird experience. And the weird experiences. Did not like that house at all. It's still up to this day. Almost when I go back to my hometown and ask them if. And I have one more scary story we can kill intermission with if you guys want to hear that as well. Not too scary, but kind of just weird if you think about it. I'll give you a few seconds if you guys want to hear that since we're in an intermission. But if not, we can get back to hockey or whatever. Just, okay, he wants to hear one more. The thing I. Sorry, Costa Rican sports fan. I'm confused. Oh, the thing he keeps blanking. Wait. I'll wait for a Costa Rican sports fan to type his thing, then I'll tell that other story. I've got a few of them. They are kind of creepy, but. Oh, he can't remember. That's what it is. I'll say this other story, and then maybe you can think of one. So when I was a kid, my best friend from when I was a kid, we hung out all the time. I was over at his house all the time. His parents basically treated me like their own kid. In fact, I call his mom mom, and I joked around with his dad like he was my dad. Anyway, I'm over there all the time. They've got their grandparents lived on that property, and then they lived on the property as well. It was a pretty good stretch of land, and they owned some woods back there. It was fairly hilly for the area we lived in. And we'd go back there all the time, nothing crazy, take BB guns out there, maybe rifles, stuff like that. And this was when we were real young, so we didn't even take BB guns or anything like that out there. But we'd go up there all the time. And one night we found a shelter with like trash of like food and drink wrappers all out there, but that was their land. And it was getting dark, and we hightailed it back. Um, and we told them about it. And the next day when they went out there, the shelter was still there, but the trash was gone. So I don't know if somebody was there watching us or what. But I tell you what, it was getting dark. The sun was setting. We probably had about 10 more minutes of daylight. And he was way bigger than I was, like heftier. But we booked it up to his house. And when we ran inside, we were out of breath. And his mom noticed, and we talked and told him about what happened. And the next day when it was bright enough, his dad went out there, I think with his gun. And then the trash was gone. The shelter was. I think he just ended up tearing it down and then told the police about it. But that was kind of weird. Sure, I have a few more. I'll just have to think about them. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll write down some of these other ones when we do another live stream. The game should be getting ready to start up soon too, hopefully. I don't know. Why don't you guys put some scary stories in here if you have any? Chris is telling us a scary story. Oh, you put one in the chat earlier. I didn't get to see it. Sorry. Let me see if I can scroll up. Oh, yeah, that's right. You did tell me. I remember that now. That would be creepy. I tell you what, we went to a bunch of abandoned shelters when we were kids and stuff like that. And as a parent or somebody that could be a future parent, that worries me that, you could go there and then be some person there and you don't know who they are. Um, but yeah, that's scary. I listen to a lot of scary stories too, so that's always something I keep up with as we start the second period here. But yeah, if you guys got any fun or not fun, scary stories, I guess, leave them down in here if you'd like, and we can talk about it. So Zika's trying to knock the puck down with his skates, couldn't get it under his control. As Coleman takes a shot, goes wide. I have another one that's scary, but for a different reason that we can talk about right at the end of the game if you guys are down with it. But this one isn't traditionally scary. It's more of like time I could have died scary. A murder a couple of streets near my house a couple of months back. That is scary. I tell you, at the place I go to school, my freshman year, I think there was two shootings at two different parties. And that was scary because I was supposed to go to both of them. Now, in all actuality, I doubt I would have got shot, but still, it makes you think. 2-1 Tampa in this game 3 of the series. Whoever wins this takes a 2-1 series lead. Oh, as I hit this. So for playoff ranks, Anthony Beauvillier ranks first in a few categories: scoring chances, slot shots, rush chances, and for goals he's ranked 21st, which is unfortunate because of the chances he's had. And I said if Anthony Beauvillier can boost his stock, you should be glad not much has happened to you, I tell you that. It is not fun looking back at that stuff. Tampa Bay's got the puck. Stamkos actually has it, dumps it back over to Yeah, that'd be crazy. I watch a lot of those documentaries. I'm about to start one about what was that one that was the clown killer? That he didn't kill clowns, but he was the clown that killed people. Is it Ed Wayne Gacy? John Wayne Gacy, that's right. Um, about to watch that on Peacock TV. I have that. That's actually a good one. I'm not gonna like promote, but I will say you can get it for fairly cheap and watch a lot of good stuff on there. So I'm about to start that maybe whenever my wife feels better because I don't want her to have to like listen to it be really gory when she doesn't feel good. 16:53 left in the third period. It looks like the shots are tied 20-20. Score is still 2-1 Lightning. Tampa Bay looking to get their home ice advantage back. I think these next two games for the series are the biggest because if the Islanders win these two, I couldn't see the Lightning winning three straight against the Islanders. I know they're good, but with the way that the Islanders play defensive hockey, it's one of those things where you got to like you're only going to get so many good looks. Would you get enough in those three games to win the series? Especially when you know you're on the brink of elimination. Green passes it to nobody because nobody was there to take it, and it goes down to the other end of the ice. Hi, Chet. How you doing? Found like 50 dead bodies under a crawl space in his house. Yeah, you know that I think his name is Andrei Chetalenko was a Soviet serial killer. I don't remember what decades they were, but it spanned a few. I think where he killed almost 60 people, and he was terrifying. Why is my nose itching like so crazy? I'm doing pretty good. Had a good stream. Everything's good. Everybody having good shots. We talked about some scary stories that I've had happen in my life. I'll probably do one more before we finish out the live stream. You know, I don't know if Beauvillier will stay with the Islanders, but I'd really like to see him go there. If not, I mean, there's definitely a lot of teams that would like to have him. I think he doesn't get enough attention. And his offensive numbers might be able to be boosted in like a more offensive minded role. But I would imagine the Islanders would want to keep Beauvillier. They've already got Barzell. They've already got a lot of long term commitments. No problem. I always like to tell the stories. It always is a good icebreaker. I get along pretty well with people if I know them. But if I don't know people and if I'm new at somewhere like a party, it's kind of hard to like, I don't know, it's hard to like warm up to them. So usually if I get a drink in my hand, I start to tell those stories and then that breaks the ice. I've never heard about Pedro Lopez. I'll have to see about that. Let me give it a Google now, actually. Still 2-1 Isles or Lightning. The fact that I've never heard of Pedro Lopez is probably crazy. Good grief, you're right. So he was convicted of at least 110, but he confessed to 350. Not to sound rude here, but it was Colombia, so I could see that happening. From my understanding, Colombia is a pretty lawless place in a lot of ways. I know they had the cocaine thing from the 80s, and it seems like the law is not super enforced there. Might have a good chance here for the Islanders. They go behind the net. Bailey's not able to keep on to possession of the puck. Pablo Escobar, yeah, that's it. You know, because of him, there's actually a growing hippo population around the area where his palace mansion is. It's not like in the hundreds, I don't think, but um, you know, it is like I think in the 80s or 90s that the hippos are, and they can't kill them because it's so hard to get them. Yeah, I do think it's dumb they don't have the death penalty. or life imprisonment. If that's the case, I'm not saying like every sentence should be the death penalty, but there are some crimes that deserve the death penalty with proof, of course. What's crazy to me is they'll give longer sentences for people stealing stuff to feed their family, but somebody will get convicted with evidence of something major, and they'll get 5 years or something like that. It's just ridiculous. Law system's ridiculous. There are some crimes that just deserve to automatically be the death penalty, and I'll always stick to that. Some people say it shouldn't exist, but I disagree. Yeah, and you'd think it wouldn't with forensic evidence, but it seems like people are more shy about giving the death penalty because it's not the right thing to do or immoral. I remember in seventh grade, I did an article over Al Capone, or an essay for Al Capone, and that was kind of wild. Going to be not an icing call. I don't know if Hedman expected that with the way he was able to get back. Kind of went slow with it, which I think should be penalized in the league. If they want a lollygag back there, that's got to be it. Yeah, I thought I heard about that. Some dude going on witness or not witness protection. I don't know what it was, but I knew he had committed a crime. Um, but like he got away in like, or somebody was on YouTube even though they committed a crime. Or they'll slap somebody with a really light penalty when they have the money to pay for it. I am curious to see how desperate the Islanders get being down 2-1. They've got 12 and a half minutes to work with. I really want to see when they pull the goalie. The other night I was watching the Canadians Golden Knights game one, and they pulled the goalie, the Canadians did, with about 4 minutes left to go. Yeah, if you kill people and it's not like self-defense or something like that, you should get the death penalty. You wouldn't believe how many people here say no, though. They're kind of soft with it. I really don't personally think a murderer should have to be paid for by society. Good grief, I'm dying here. We've got 11 and a half minutes here. I'm going to say with about 3 minutes to go, 2.5, 3 minutes. Um, that's when they'll pull the goal. If family think it's inhumane, yeah, I've got a lot of family members that think that too. I think in a lot of ways I'm more cruel with it. If you do certain crimes, you deserve to pay with your life because, I mean, heck, murderers get off and don't even have to get the death penalty. That's crazy to me. I do think it's the right to implement as well. 19 murders, how do you get away with that? My guess would be bad law and bad judicial systems or people that are getting paid off, stuff like that. Bribery is disgusting. As we're at a commercial break, and I'm sure less and less people are probably watching because I'm focusing less and less on the game, but that's all right. We're just here to have fun, right? I know this is supposed to be hockey related, but I definitely feel like I'm better at staying on the hockey with actual hockey videos, whereas the live stream tends to just digress. But remember, if you're still here, we're on a commercial break, so we're allowed to not talk about the other stuff. I'm going to die from coughing because this is ridiculous. If Justin's still here, I apologize about the peanut butter incident. I think for all of our viewers, I'm going to make sure I don't eat anything on here again. What time do you think the Islanders will pull the goalie if they don't get a goal within the next few minutes? like I said, 2.5, 3 minutes would be my guess. I don't think they'll be as desperate as the Canadians were, but the Canadians were also down a lot more goals. Third period has been more their period, I guess you could say. Um, Still, though, Vasilevsky is a wall. He's a wall that's hard to break through as we're back in the game. They're just showing that corgi that does that basketball thing where he'll take the inflatable basketballs and then knock them into the buckets. They predicted the Islanders winning in 7, or the dog did. I like corgis. They crack me up. The corgi also picked Vegas in 6, for anybody that was wondering. And I'm dying. I am dying. I'm going to cough up a lung on screen. Play resumes. Sorelli's got the puck. The Lightning won the faceoff, trying to get into that transition game. Good shot down low for the Lightning, but couldn't get it. Islanders may be able to get a good look out of here if they can settle the puck down. Letty takes a shot, but goes wide. Barzal has the puck in his own end. Yikes. Looks like Pauk just literally ran into Barzal. They almost turned over the puck, and what would have been a 3-on-1 in their advantage, but 2 Islanders defenders down. They could have scored off of that, and that would have been a meme moment right there. I hate when players tuck their jerseys. It's cool looking, but it's hard to pick up their numbers to talk about them. We could very well see the Islanders play so much better than the Lightning in this third and final period. But with Vasilevsky being a brick wall, they could very well still lose 2-1, which would be a shame. I'm thinking if they do lose, it'll be 3-1. They're going to pull the goalie, and then Tampa Bay, of course, would score. But 45 Celsius. I mean, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to Celsius, but I know that's hot because I'm pretty sure like 80 some Fahrenheit is 20s, high 20s Celsius. The highest temperature I've ever had was 104 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that would be in Celsius. I'll look it up. I'm sure you guys are so curious about my highest fever ever. So it was 40 degrees Celsius. That was the highest my temperature ever was. So yours was even hotter than mine. That sounds terrible. Usually at that temperature, people die, which is a scary thing. What happened with peanut butter? That stinks. Getting a little chippy with Coleman, and whoever the Islanders player is laughing. It is cannot see here. Let's take a look as we're probably headed towards a commercial break. Couldn't eat. Now that's tough because I'm a big fan of eating. Yeah, I mean, the Islanders are just playing really good hockey here right now. How old are you, Costa Rican sports fan? You don't have to answer if you don't want, but I was just curious. Oh, Justin and the peanut butter. I got you. I wonder if Justin's still here. 14. I was just curious because I knew that there's usually an age where a fever hit a certain temperature that the like fatality rate is, or the mortality rate is pretty high. The worst I've ever been sick was always good to see Justin here. He asks the best questions. The most sick I've ever been was for a little over a week when I was a kid. And when when I was sick, they actually had to take me to the hospital because I was almost sick for 2 weeks, and they did blood work. I don't remember what they said was wrong with me, but they gave me a bunch of medication to take, and within a week I was better. But I missed school. I had to go to the doctor, otherwise they're gonna like have a court thing for my mom because I had missed so many days of school in a row. Hit me when you're young, 10 at the time. Yeah, see, it sounds awful, but I'm glad you survived. But if it was that high, let's see, can the body even get that hot? Oh, the yeah. I was like, I don't remember Justin talking about dying from peanut butter. I was like, well, I just really missed a big thing that Justin said he almost died from. But yeah, no, I was so confused there. So that's 113. Can the body even get to be 113? Hottest. Whatever it is, it's hot. Either way, glad you're all right. Because when I had that high fever, I felt terrible. They took cold rags and put them on my neck, and with about a minute, they'd all be warm. So that was something that they had to do. Put me in like a cold bath. Hated it. Game's back on. 8.5 minutes left to go. Shots 26-21 in favor of the Islanders. The Islanders have played really good hockey the past, I don't know, 10 minutes of the, well, 12 minutes of the second period, and have played really good hockey so far in this third period. And it's going to be a shame if they can't at least tie it up. Barzell trying to work past some defenders. He passes over to Eberle. And I don't know if he didn't have his stick down or what, but I think he might have been able to squeak it past Vasilevsky's skate had his stick been there. A weird deflection, keeping the puck in New York's end. With 7.5 minutes left to go, now you have to figure out if you're Barry Trotz, what time you want to pull that goalie. Yeah, see, online it said it would go over 100. It couldn't go over 108.4, but at the same time, I'm not going to just trust one source, so I'm not going to doubt it. But let me tell you, at 104, my body felt miserable. Oh, there's a good chance. Good chance. No. I don't think I'd be a good broadcaster because if that was the case, they'd be like, we can't stand it when you go, this is a good chance. Imagine your body literally getting too hot to live. You're a good Costa Rican sports fan. I'm not going to say whether it was or wasn't. What we do know is that your temperature was insanely hot and you almost died. Luckily, you didn't. That's all that matters. This has got me worried right now. The sequence that has been going on, the Lightning been able to stay in the Lightning been able to stay in the Islanders' net for a good minute here. What worries me is with the Islanders really outplaying them for almost 30 minutes, them just getting a quick goal here to win this game, pretty much put it at bay. Eberle takes a really far out shot. I don't know if he thought numbers were going to be on his side or what, but he takes a shot that I don't think I would have taken if I was him. Although I don't think there's a lot of cutoffs, so it was either skate in close and try to get a shot off. Oh, cool short side shot, can't get it. There could have been a rebound there, but Komarov shot it, and then it just gave him a weird bounce as he skated past. Had that rebound been there, though, maybe he could have squeaked it right in between Vasilevsky's arm and side. Commercial break, of course. see how the third period has been going. We've only had 2 penalties in the whole game, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So the shots are 7-1 in favor of the Islanders in this period. They've had 8 scoring chances. The Lightning have had 0. And if I had to say somebody's been having a really good game, let's take a look at the stats. Adam Pellick is having. Who is this? Kyle Palmieri, you dog. He's had 17 scoring chances. They've only had 1 against on the ice with him on the ice today. Holy cow, Kyle Palmieri. That is insane. I thought he was looked good tonight. They haven't said his name a ton, which I'm kind of surprised with how well he's played. How many shots has he taken? I don't know if it gives me that information. Either way, really, really good game for Kyle Palmieri. Let's take a look for the Lightning, who leads for them. Still an intermission. Or not intermission, commercial break. Anthony Cirelli leads that for 10 scoring chances. Ugh, that's too bad for you. Chris, are you from India? You'd mentioned Bollywood, so I was curious. I know not everybody, especially here, knows about Bollywood, so I didn't know if you were or weren't from India. Oh, you're not? I was curious when you mentioned Bollywood, because definitely, especially where I live, nobody knows about Bollywood. I just kind of know about it from like YouTube. Barzell's got it. Okay. New Jersey. How is it in New Jersey? I'm curious. Also, Krish, what team do you support? Because I know they've got a lot out there. I actually saw a clip the other day from Bollywood actors. That was a pretty cool clip. Just because I think they do a lot of things Hollywood wouldn't with how they do some of their scenes. Tampa Bay wants to call too many men on the ice for the Islanders. They stopped play. Let's see if they get this penalty here. But downtown New Jersey's rough. Ever seen the Jersey Devil? You know, I'm kind of surprised they don't make more memes about New Jersey because every time I hear about New Jersey, some of the craziest stuff happens there. Four and a half minutes. 4.5 minutes left to go. They're talking about switching up lines a little bit, getting more offensive players in here. You pretty much have to at this point. You're down by a goal. You've been playing better than them. Point and Kucherov almost had a chance there, but it was broken up. Three and a half minutes to go. They have got to get it out of their own end. At this point, I'd say probably 2.5 minutes. That's when it's time to pull the goalie. So you've got a minute of 5-on-5 play here left. I'm curious to see if they pull him now. Nope. I really do want to see overtime here because I think the Islanders deserve it. They actually deserve to win. Really crushing if they do lose a low-scoring game that they should win You look at a lot of this stuff and you think, wow, that penalty on who was it, Green? That could be the thing that we talk about lost them this game. And I don't want to point at one thing, but that was a really light call. 2.5 minutes left to go. The Lightning have possession, though, so they can't pull the goalie. Now, of course, the Islanders can't even get it out of their own end, so they can't pull the goalie. So every second that they lose is precious. They're going to have to take a face-off now because of stoppage of play because Varlamov stopped the puck. But now you got to win the face-off, ideally, get it into their end without turning it over in enough time for Varlamov to skate on over and pulls. I don't know why I'm so bothered by the fact that the Islanders might lose this because the thing is, though, they really have been playing some great hockey for almost 35 minutes. And they got that bad penalty against them, which kind of makes me mad. Faceoffs have been pretty even. The Islanders have won 23. The Lightning have won 26. Only problem is they just didn't win that one there. So now the Lightning have been able to kill off about 30 seconds left of this by keeping it in the Islanders' end. Pollock's got the puck. Barzell's behind the net. I'd almost think you'd want him to be towards center ice. That way he could get going, but I think they want him to build the play up. 1 minute and 51 seconds are pulling Varlamov, even though it's in the Islanders' end. But it is 6-on-5 now with 1 minute and 43 seconds left. Barzell's got it up in his end. He whiffs on it. What is he doing? I think he's trying to... Oh! Brock Nelson steps on the puck. So you have Barzell literally whiffing the passer with a shot, whatever. That stinks. I'm not trying to knock on him. But then Nelson falls on the puck. His ice, he jumps up with the skate, actually goes underneath him, so he falls. Hockey Brigade's good. I'll do a name release probably. We'll probably shoot for a 1,000. I'll do a name release at 1,000. Give you a hint, my name's only got like 9 letters in it, like the full name. So all 3 of my names, my first, middle, and last, are really short. The first 2 have 5. The last one has 4. 37 seconds. But yeah, Hockey Brigade, HB, whatever will work for now. Then when we hit that 1,000 subscribers, I'll give you my name. It's pretty much the most basic name you could ever think of. It's almost like a name generator just named me, but my mom, when I was born, wanted me to have a name that would sound like professional and not hick, because where we live is kind of hick. There's 10 seconds left. But yeah, so that's why she picked my name. It is not. Islanders lose 2-1, even though they outplayed the Lightning. Ugh. That stinks, dude. I don't even know why I'm so bothered right now, but I am. Part of you has to wonder why they couldn't even just get it out of their own end for 40 seconds. Yikes. They out-chanced the Lightning 11-2 in the third period, but they couldn't get a goal. The Vasilevsky's a brick wall. Now, see, my first name's 5 letters, so John would not be it. But yeah, it's pretty much like somebody just generated it out of a name or a random generation thing. Yikes, dude. Yikes. Ooh, fun fact. The Islanders have been behind in every series 2-1, but have found a way to come back and win it. So for the Lightning, it was Braden Point and Yanni Gord with the 2 goals. And Blake Coleman. Derek Paul it is. Yeah, you can call me Derek Paul. That's not it, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can call me Derek Paul. Brian, no, that's not it either. I'll let Everybody take one more guess, and then I'll end the live stream. I don't think you'll guess it. You won't guess my last name. I can bet in a million years you'll never guess my last name. You would have to be sarcastic when you guess my last name in order to get it. Victor Hedman picked up an assist too, I think. And Eric Chernak and Nikita Kucherov. Wait, who am I looking at here? I was looking at something else. Who scored for the Islanders? If it was Cal Clutterbuck, if I remember. Then who picked up the assist? Casey Cizikas and Matt Martin. David, that is not correct. So I'll give anybody else that wants to give one more guess. Points goal is amazing. It really was. It was a great goal. It was, but at the same time, you have to blame, I don't want to say blame, but the bad call and the push by Andy Green to push Sorelli in front of Varlamov practically fell on him, but it couldn't be goaltender interference because Andy Green just molly-whopped him into Varlamov. So that was frustrating. But for Point, that was a great goal. No lie there. Absolutely. Braden Point's amazing. I wish I had him, especially since the Blue Jackets really lack center depth. But I'll give everybody one more guess. I'll end it here in about a minute or two. Closing thoughts from this game. Islanders played really good for a lot of this, but couldn't come away. Vasilevsky was really good. Varlamov wasn't bad either. One of those goals he gave up, I would say, really wasn't his fault. And overall, though, I don't think there's a bunch of times that I'd say, okay, he was tested. And sorry, I was looking at a really weird stat for a second. Blake Bell. No, that's not it either. Blake is my middle name, though. I'll give you that little nugget. If I'll let somebody guess one more time. Whoever wants to guess one more time, I'll let it slide. But you got my middle name, Blake. That was actually supposed to be my first name, but they changed it towards the end. Hint, can't give you one, especially with my last name. Once I gave you a hint like that, you'd get it right away. You wouldn't guess it in a million years unless you had a hint. But if you had the hint, you'd guess it right away. Or you'd have a really good chance of guessing it. Really, really good. You know what? I'll give you a hint. If you had a hint, you'd have a very, very high odd, or very, very high odds of guessing it. Blake Ward. I wish. That will do it all. They couldn't guess my name, my first and my last one. Justin inadvertently got my middle name. But, yeah, that is going to wrap it up for this live stream. Everybody, thank you for being here. I had a great time. Hope you had a great time. We talked about scary stories. We talked some hockey. We talked about food because we always talk about food here because I'm a food junkie. Maybe get some Taco Bell after this. And, yeah, everybody have a great night. And let's enjoy the hockey while we have it before the offseason. I'll give you all a chance to say goodbye. Bye, Krish. See you, Justin. Always good to have you here. And I'll probably give it 20 more seconds. See you, Costa Rican sports fan. You know it's always a pleasure to have you here. You've been here for a long time. Always a great supporter. I'll give you 10 more seconds, gang, if anybody's still here. And that'll wrap it up. See you, everybody. Have a great night. Oh, the question I'll give you. All right, we'll stop it for Rich Dragon. The question is if you can guess my name. Now, the hints are my first name has 5 letters. My last name has 4. And the second hint is if I gave you a hint, your odds would be really, really high of getting my name right. My last name, that is, that has 4 letters. You would probably bet on these odds if you knew how high the odds were. I can't even give you a hint about how high the odds are because if I did, you'd have a really good chance. So I'll give you probably about 20, 30 seconds to guess a name and then I will end it out. But I want to give everybody a chance to guess what the name could be. And if anybody's still hanging around, I feel like it's probably to see if somebody can guess my name. Is it Southern? No, I feel like it's not very Southern. It's more formal. Not formal, but it's definitely a name you could get away with being like a more white collar job and people wouldn't judge you. He has no idea. That's all right. That is all right. That'll wrap it up, everybody. I will actually, if we keep doing live streams, which we will in the off season. You look like a Logan or Blake. See, I'm telling you, my mom wanted me to be a Blake, but she changed it at the last second, and that's my middle name. So it's a good job that you guessed that. People always say I do look like a Blake. That will wrap it up. We'll do more live streams, especially in the off season, and I'll let you guess all you want there or in the comments. And if you get it right, then I will admit it. And if not, then we will do a name reveal at 1,000 subscribers. That is going to be all, everybody. Justin is wrong with Logan Blake Ward. Krish is wrong with Jacob. See you guys.